Everyone can be seated. As we open up the fourth graduation for our School of Medicine and the first graduation of the Donald and Barbara Zucker School of Medicine, the first people I want to welcome sitting behind me are Donald and Barbara Zucker. I want all of you to know that the Zuckers made their generous gift to us for one and only one reason: to support students who had significant financial need so that they could graduate from medical school without extraordinary debt. And to that, I think we can all be proud to carry their name forever. I also want to mention that on the platform we have the Joint Board of Overseer members, Hofstra deans, vice presidents, and leadership teams from both the School of Medicine, the university, and the health system. There are board members and trustees and VIPs sitting in the audience. I want to welcome the members of the faculty, the family members, and last but not least, the students. I also want to point out that there were a number of marshals who brought the different groups in. So the Grand Marshal who placed the mace right here was Dr. David Alkowitz. The faculty marshals were Dr. Penny Stern, the president of the Faculty Council, and Melissa Polachek, who is the co-director of our ACE rotations. The Grand Marshals, Dr. Joel Stern, was the winner thanks to this class for the Teacher of the Year in the first 100 weeks. And Dr. Edward Wynn, the winner of the second 100 weeks Teacher of the Year, also as voted by this class. I want to point out a few things that you notice. People are wearing ribbons and medals of honor and who knows what. So people wearing this medal are members of the Academy of Educators, and this is the one time a year that we all wear that medal. In addition, there are some things. There's a medallion with blue and gold ribbons signifying membership in the Academy. Then there's a medallion with a blue ribbon signifying distinction in research for the graduates. There's also a gold ribbon for Gold Humanism Honor Society, a gold and green signifying Alpha Omega Alpha, the National Honor Society for Medical Schools, and blue and gold signifying a student who received awards during the awards ceremony that took place earlier today. So please rise now as we begin this graduation, and I ask Rabbi Abraham Axelrod to make the invocation.
Almighty God, known by many names, heard in many voices, we invoke your presence with us this day. Today we celebrate the accomplishments of those who received diplomas along with their instructors, mentors, and families. All those who supported them so that they may achieve the goal of becoming a physician. Of those who begin new chapters in their lives, we invoke your blessing upon them. May you give them direction, strength, and the acumen to heal their patients, find new ways to alleviate suffering, and discover the cures and prevention of illnesses that have not yet been controlled or even eradicated. May each mindful and be mindful, we pray, of what they have accomplished. You have chosen them to be among those special people who have the Herculean task to give hope and help those who are suffering return to their normal existence. Bless the instructors who have given of themselves in ways that will only be understood with the passage of time. Families who have sacrificed much. Friends who learned from them and taught them as only peers can. And we ask special blessing to those who administer our institution. We pray for the security of our nation, for the safety of those who defend freedom, whoever and wherever they are. Make us ever mindful of those whose shoulders we stand, as well as those who follow in our path. Even as we celebrate accomplishments in transition, may we continue to seek wisdom. Hear our prayer, and we say amen. You may be seated.
And now I'd ask Justin Pereira to come up to the stage. Justin, a member of the graduating class today, will lead us in the singing of our national anthem, and I'd ask you guys once more to rise.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Justin, and now everyone can be seated. Let me ask first the president of Hofstra University, Stuart Rabinowitz, to offer us a few words of welcome.
Did I hear him say a few words? Guess I did. Thank you, Dr. Smith. Members of the Board of Trustees, faculty and administration, distinguished guests of both the university and the health system. Also, a very special acknowledgement to Donald and Barbara Zucker. And most importantly, welcome to our graduates and their families and their friends. Welcome to the fourth graduating class of what is now and will ever from now on be the Donald and Barbara Zucker School of Medicine at Hofstra Northwell. We gather this afternoon to celebrate the accomplishments and the hard work of you, our remarkable graduates, and the sacrifices that, and I can say I know this since I am the parent of a physician, the sacrifices that have been made on their behalf by family and friends. You know, this academic year marks my 46th year in higher education and at Hofstra University. I know I look remarkably young. Why are you laughing? First, I was a law professor, then I was dean of the law school, and since 2001, I've had the privilege of serving as president of this great university, and so it's a really very good thing that I thoroughly enjoy attending graduation ceremonies. But the truth is, our medical school commencements have been very special to me. For a while today surely marks the realization of the dreams of our students. It also, once again, marks the realization of the dreams of Hofstra University and the Northwell health system. It wasn't that long ago, maybe a decade or so, where many of us on this stage today, both at Hofstra and at Northwell, came together in the belief that we could create a successful medical school on Long Island, one that would significantly impact the future of healthcare in this nation. It was, like most of our dreams, admittedly a big one. And not surprisingly, there were many who said that we were insane to even think about it. Well, we may have been, but we weren't deterred. We all believed that our two institutions could partner and could create something new and different and meaningful that could change how medicine was taught in this country. And we hoped that great students would heed our call. And you did. You, our graduates, are all that we had hoped for and more. You believed in yourselves, you believed in your ability, and you wanted to be physicians so that you could make the world a better place. And you believed in this school, in this new enterprise. You believed that this medical school would not just educate you about medical facts, and being a lifelong hypochondriac, I'm very knowledgeable about medical facts. But you believed that we would prepare you for a life's work of healing and of service and of fulfillment. The fact that all of our graduates, all of them, have matched residencies with some of the most renowned and prominent hospitals and health systems in this nation proves that you have fulfilled your dream, and you have fulfilled our dreams. In short, we are totally confident that the members of the class of 2018 will be great physicians. I close my brief remarks today as I have for the past 17 years as president, and that is simply by wishing every single one of our graduates well. I wish each of you all the success that you think you need and all that your hard work earns for you. I wish you the wisdom to forgive yourself from the mistakes, and mistakes are inevitable, and learn from them. And as the father, as I pointed out, of a successful and dedicated physician, I especially wish that you will find the time in your busy professional life for the love of family and friends. Perhaps this last point, to me, was best made by Dr. Gawande when he told the 2004 graduating class of the Yale Medical School, and I'm quoting, "The life of a doctor is a very intense life. You will be witnesses and servants to individual human survival. The difficulty is that you are also only human beings yourself. You cannot live your life just for your patients. In the end, you must also live your own lives." The class of the School of Medicine of 2018 leaves here with our admiration and our affection. We hope you will maintain your ties to your classmates and to your alma mater. From this day forward, your accomplishments will always be the most important driver and of the value of our education. The university and the Northwell Health System will always welcome you back home. On behalf of the faculty, the administration, and the staff of the university and the School of Medicine, I extend to each of you our heartiest congratulations and our very warmest wishes for your success and happiness. Thank you.
And now let me ask Mr. Michael Dowling, President and CEO of Northwell Health, to also give his words of welcome.
Thank you very much, and let me say, first of all, to everybody in the room, a special congratulations. This is indeed a very, very special day. And for all the graduates, This is, as you know, better than anybody, that this is the culmination of a dream. This is what you've thought about for a long period of time. Many of you probably from when you were a very young person, you said, someday I want to be a physician. Well, today is the day. And I can assure you that today's event will be etched in your memory forever. You will always remember this day. You may forget other things, but you won't forget today. And as I look out at the audience and I look at families and friends, supporters, this also is their day. They have thought about this. They have supported you through this. They are the cast, all of them are the cast that has made this day possible. So you should, as I know, today and other days, for all of those people who are in the audience, for you to say to them, thank you. Because I would not have been able to do this if it wasn't for your support and encouragement. And today is special for another reason, and that is because today you enter the life of wonderful opportunity. The field of medicine, an area under constant discussion, constant reform efforts, constant criticism, and in a field that is full of success. You are entering that field, but when you enter it, please understand that it puts upon you also major obligation and responsibility. Because quite frankly, you're more than just a physician. You're a confidant, an influencer, a change agent. People come to you and they express their aspirations, their fears, their secrets, their hopes, and their desires. And as you know, and as we all know, even when you are not speaking in the area of medicine, when you make a comment on other things that have nothing to do with medicine, people still listen because you're a physician. So what you say, how you behave in the field of medicine and outside the field of medicine is important. People put their trust in what you do and what you say. Now, all of you are very, very, very special. Comments could be made about each one of you, but there are a few notables in the room that I would just like to point out. I'll just mention three. But I think it's important to understand we have here a graduate named Tyler Lapatin, an ensign in the US Navy who will be commissioned as a lieutenant in the Navy and who will train in emergency medicine at Portsmouth in West Virginia. We also have two graduates, Josh Bloom and Renata Lerner, the first recipients of the school's dual MD PhD program, who were admitted way back during the inaugural class. And we have Jonathan Reminger, an entrepreneur who invented Sterilocker, a garment sterilizer for hospitals using ultraviolet technology. Just think of the potential. Just think of the competency that exists right here. Just think of what that can do to the field of medicine and the community at large over the lifetime of your careers. An extraordinary obligation, something I know that you take very, very seriously and that you care deeply about. Because if you do your job as well as we know you can, based upon the education you received at this school, the world of medicine and the world at large will be a better place. And I just have 3 suggestions. 1, be a pioneer. Make a distinctive difference. Don't just follow the rules, change them. Secondly, be an optimist. The world is full of negativity. Be confident. Talk about the good stuff that's going on. There's a lot more good than bad. Emphasize the good and do it optimistically. And lastly, in the midst of all the technology that we're currently dealing with, that is continuing to grow and expand each and every day, remember that behind it all, what's important is the human contact, the person, the dignity of the person, irrespective of circumstance. While technology can help, it can't replace the human contact. Don't ever forget. So with that, I want to thank again everybody for being here. I want to thank Don and Barbara Zucker, as was mentioned earlier, wonderful people who made this possible. And I want to thank all the faculty, all the people at Northwell, all 66,000 people at Northwell, and all the people at Hofstra University. We all collectively say, congratulations, have a great future, do better than we did. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael. And next, we have our student speaker. So could I ask Danielle Aronowitz to come up to the podium?
Presidents Rabinowitz and Dowling, Dean Smith, members of the Joint Board of the School of Medicine, our exceptional faculty and dedicated staff, the Zucker family, each of our own beloved families and invited guests, and above all, the individuals we celebrate today, the graduating class of 2018. I'm honored and humbled and experiencing mild palpitations to be speaking on behalf of this incredible group of people who, starting today, will lengthen their signature, turn in their student IDs, and finally for a W-4. It's about time. The road to employment as doctors has been long and challenging, probably more so than any of us anticipated. For most of us, day one on these grounds was 4 years ago. For others, it was 5, and for still others, it was 8. 2 among us have been students within the Hofstra Northwell enterprise for almost a third of their lifetime. We have the privilege of sharing the stage today with the Zucker School of Medicine's very first combined MD-PhD graduates. I recognize that many of you in the audience know some number of the graduates, either personally or professionally, but maybe not all of them. So let me take this most worthy time to brag about my friends, so you get an idea of how fortunate I feel to have gone through this whole journey with them. The graduating class is made up of husbands and wives, 2 fathers, and a mother-to-be. World travelers, mouth-watering chefs and bakers, financial consultants, published authors, and a very exceptional cartoonist, musicians and singers, actors and dancers, and a very talented magician. forensic anthropologist, a scuba diver, an Uber driver, and athletes of all sorts. Those who competed in collegiate rowing, football, lacrosse, and volleyball. Several who have run far too many miles for a free banana. And the one and only beta blockers. This team of 10 graduates took home the intramural volleyball championship for the 3rd time this year. We were all strangers once, but not anymore. I could go on talking to you about how much my classmates have each accomplished, but I first owe them an apology. In fact, I owe any Hofstra Northwell students in the audience today an apology. You see, for 1,323 days of medical school, I counted, I was able to maintain my dignity and steer clear of a rather common mistake. But 2 months ago, just the day before match day, it happened. I replied all. For those that you don't know, the Zucker School of Medicine suffers from an epidemic of replying all. There is what we think is a glitch in the email server, such that when an email is sent to a listserv, if you respond to that email, the default recipient is the entire listserv. But for 3.5 years, I was very careful. I checked, I double-checked, I triple-checked, until the day that I did not. And that's not the worst of it. I made the exact same mistake 2 weeks later. And then again, 2 weeks after that. I admit to replying all for 3 times already in the last 2 months. Trust me, it's been extremely embarrassing, so please forgive me, friends. Having survived the embarrassment, it reminded me of a very salient piece of advice that the upperclassmen shared with us during our orientation 4 years ago. At Hofstra, they said, you'll push yourself, but you must be willing to be uncomfortable. You must be willing to embarrass yourself and bounce back like it's never happened. The upperclassmen then provided some examples, so let me share with you some of our finest moments. Many of us, like myself, have replied all on more than one occasion. Several have fallen flat on the ground at the least opportune moment, but one of us fell down and split his pants right down the middle. A few of us have left our mark in the school by writing on the wall that's not a whiteboard. And though the stress of an exam made it difficult for us to notice even the person next to us, we all noticed the one person that finished their exam early, tried to sneak out, and then triggered the fire alarm. Needless to say, those upperclassmen, now alumni, were right. Here at the Zucker School of Medicine, we've had the privilege and the challenge of learning in a program that is impressively innovative, but still ever-changing. And like with anything new and unfinished, we've had to brave being uncomfortable and uncertain on numerous occasions. Halfway through our first year, after finally getting a hang of pearls and pre-work and Long Island traffic, we were suddenly lost in a brand new building and blinded by sunlight in every single room. In our second year, we felt an absence in the anatomy lab as we bid farewell to a very favorite faculty member who was relocating to a different institution. In our third year, we were unsure of where to stand, when to speak, what to eat, what to wear, and whether or not our white coats would ever return from the laundry. And in our fourth year, as we traveled the country interviewing, we found ourselves stuttering, trying to explain the name of our medical school after it changed for the 3rd time. But when I say it's been a privilege to be students at the Hofstra Northwell Enterprise, I really, really mean it. Learning in a school that's young in its years, we've come to realize that the only constant in medicine is change. And now we've mastered how to use that paradox to our advantage. Today marks our transition into an even more uncertain realm. As students, we were tested on clinical scenarios with only one right answer, and only benign repercussions should we choose incorrectly. In the coming year, as first-year residents, we will be asked to make decisions with only indeterminate data and endless possible diagnoses. We'll be expected to face ambiguity with the most threatening consequences. We'll have to face the reality that a human life is precious, but fragile. In these moments, we can look back at our time at Zucker, or Hofstra, Northwell, or wherever we went to school in the end, and think about what it took to find the answer on our own, and when it was prudent to turn to others for help. My fellow graduates, there were times in the last few years where you gave your all for someone else's benefit. But consider this lesson from Mr. Rogers. Be proud of yourself for every time that you said yes, when all it meant was extra work for you and potentially helpful only to someone else. Now take a second to think about anyone and everyone who has done that for you. I think of my parents. There's no real way for me to thank you, Mom and Dad, for letting me become who I am today. I can only live every day to make you proud and be a fraction of as generous and as humble and as courageous as you both. Each of us has had special pillars of support throughout our personal and our professional lives, whether they could be here today or if they could not. Many, many, many of us lost loved ones, whether in the last few weeks or in the last few years. But just because they're not here does not mean that they're not present. To all of our families and all of our friends, these last 4 to 8 years have been one great balancing act. And though it may have seemed like we managed to stay standing on our own, you were the true stilts that kept us upright, and all we could ever say is thank you. We also owe a great deal of gratitude to our faculty and advisors, both here at the school and at the various clinical sites. You believed in us from the beginning. Thank you for your devotion to teaching, your active role in our education, and letting us learn from your example. And thanks for always taking the second to ask, how'd that go for you? When you were just about to tell us what we did wrong. And thank you to the administration and curriculum support for keeping us always on task, and then having us reflect on that task. And thank you to Student Affairs for making all that we don't think of and all that we don't see come to be. We know that you're performing magic in that office, but we'll keep pretending like it's a secret. Thank you all for sharing this day with us. Today we graduate from this extraordinary place and move on to the next. Some of us will stay within the Northwell family. Others will experience new health systems where they might see and do things a little bit differently. But no matter where we go or where we end up, we will never forget where we came from and who we learned from. We will carry the Hofstra Northwell name with pride. Go Pride. Knowing that whether in a crisis or at a crossroads, we can always look north. Thank you for your attention and congratulations.
So I hope someone was taping that for marketing. So, to the graduating class. I thought a lot about what I would say today, and I decided that the 180,000 things I hadn't told you during the 4 years, I would tell you today. So everyone, rest. But really, I want to start with a thought. There's lots of graduations. I mean, my grandchildren now graduate from nursery school, from kindergarten, from whatever. But there are very few graduations that are all about acknowledging that you are now a different person than when you started. And that for 4 years you've been building this transformation to a new identity called doctor. And yes, you're only on a journey, but you're far enough along in that journey that we, your parents, your friends, in fact, the whole rest of our society will forevermore call you doctor. The researchers sitting here are going to be acknowledged as amongst the premier researchers discovering things in the world. And that too puts another burden on them. But to transform yourself to a new person and then have it acknowledged in this beautiful auditorium is very important. How far have you come? Did you work hard enough? How many times did you want to not take on a new personality because of all the things that that meant? The things that were referred to, the privileges and the burdens. And they're there, intertwined, and you can't get them to move away from each other. What are the things that you understand now are the rules of this very special profession called medicine? That altruism, a word that you probably rarely ever used, meaning that you will put the needs of your patients in front of your own all the time, but not really all the time, but most of the time. That you will not settle for being mediocre. That unless you know you are excellent, you'll continue to work harder to be better, because no one deserves an okay doctor. They only deserve a great doctor. That as smart as you get, the minute you lose humility, everyone else targets you, and when the inevitable mistake comes, they will finish you off. Arrogance is really difficult to maintain long term because it implies that you'll never make a misstep. You have to be courageous. You know, I lived through, in my late residency and my early times as a physician, the AIDS epidemic, and watched doctors fleeing and refusing to care for patients. And I hope I never see that happen again. Without courage, you don't have the right to be here. But I think of all the virtues that doctors need to have that make them deserve being called doctor, it's integrity. Because to me, integrity boils down to, what do you do when no one is watching? Do you live up to the standards you know are what the outstanding doctor does when there's no chance that anyone will figure out that you did less? And if you have integrity, then nobody ever has to worry about trusting their life to you. You're going to enter into a strange world. Everything is changing. And some things about being a doctor are timeless. Healing suffering, relating to patients, building trust. But some things are different. I didn't think that I would be making televisits, but all of you will do that before your careers are over. I didn't think that the surgeon was going to be the best operator of a robot, sitting at a console distant from the patient. And on, we have the risk that technology will get in between us and our patients and break that tight-knit bridge of trust that is necessary to really take care of people. But I trust that you will learn how to do it right with all the technology and the crazy EMRs that undoubtedly must get better or there'll be a revolt. How do you live in a world where privacy, patient's privacy, never talking about anyone is the rule when you've grown up with social media where everything is out there before you even know it? And yet, patients can only trust you if they know that when they pour their hearts out and tell you their most secret things, you will tell no one who does not need to be told. So all of these things are going to put pressures on you that I actually don't think I had as I was growing up as a young physician. Science is going to be advanced. Genetics, genomics, targeted therapies, new molecules, cutting genes out and inserting new ones in. I ask you only one thing. You don't need to know at the deep, deep depths the science of every single innovation in medicine that you use for your patients. But never, ever give a medication or do a treatment that you don't truly understand, because that is your patient. And there's no black box that you just, it's okay if I don't know what this is. Somebody else started them on the medicine. If you are taking care of someone, you must force yourself to understand what's going on, or you are not a safe doctor. And that's where your continuing education will take place, because science is moving at warp speed and you need to keep up with it. So the other challenge is, how do you balance being a husband or wife, a father or mother, and a doctor, a brother or sister, a confidant, a member of a sports team? How do you balance all those other things and still have altruism? How do you not burn out when everybody says that 50 or 60% of the doctors in this country who practice medicine are burnt out? So I'm going to give you my thoughts and my secrets to not burning out. First and foremost, you have to take the time to get the anti-burnout pills every day. And those anti-burnout pills are when you close the door and you sit down with one single patient, unrushed, and take care of them. And if you shortchange yourself on that, nothing else I say will matter. You will be toasted, because that is the only thing that keeps you going. You have to pay the price. And the price of longevity as a physician is to take the payback that the patients so readily give you if you give them the time. Second, you have to have friends who are doctors. You can have other friends, but if you don't commiserate with people who truly fundamentally empathize with what you're going through, you can't emerge unburnt out. So whether it's meeting people for a stale breakfast bagel in the hospital cafeteria, or whether it's just having a group of friends that you can say anything to, you need to have people who are on the inside of this to help you through the tough times. You have to know when to get help. You also need your family, and you can't shortchange them. And so you have to organize your life to be altruistic and a good parent and a good sibling, and maybe now a good grandparent. So I'm going to tell you a story, my last story that you'll ever hear from me. And you know I tell a lot of stories. I was in practice for 10 years. I saw literally thousands of patients a year. I was extraordinarily busy and happy. I had become the doctor who was taking care of all the other doctors' families, which is the ultimate honor that any doctor can have, is that the other doctors trust you with their family members. And lo and behold, I was offered a position at Stony Brook to run their residency and teaching program in the Department of Medicine. And it was a tough decision to make. I had this booming practice. I had partners who offered me psychiatric care forever if I didn't go. I had the unique challenge of talking to my wife and saying, I really think I should do this. I'd really like to do the teaching. They are going to pay me half of what I make. And I said, can we live on half? Because I never pay a bill, so. And she said, well, we haven't gotten too used to this, so we can probably cut back by half. And I did. So before I went out to Stony Brook, I was very nervous that I didn't really understand like the secrets of transmitting to people what it really meant to be a great doctor. And I was fortunate enough that one of my partners in the practice was truly a great doctor in every conceivable way. And he was articulate, and he wrote about his experiences and all the things that I thought he could pass along some wisdom to me about how to do this. So I set up an appointment. I said, Reese, I want to meet with you. I want to talk to you about your career as a doctor. I want you to give me some insights in what I can teach all these medical students. And so, first of all, I'll tell you that Dr. Alsop lived in a different time because the home he lived in, one of his patients gave him as a thank you for the care. Yes, that's true. Was a kind of funky house, but nonetheless. So I went there, and there he was sitting on the back porch overlooking what appeared to me to be a swamp of untended jungle. So he wasn't into a nice, neat landscaping. And he was sitting on the porch with a dog older than himself, and he was pretty old, and a cooler. And in the cooler was bottles of beer on ice. And he said, "Larry, sit down." And I told him, "Reese," I said, "tell me, you got to give me the secrets of what I'm supposed to teach people. You are the doctor for the rich and the famous and for the poor and the lonely. Tell me what I should teach." And I was expecting this erudite man to give this incredible summary that I could write down and immediately transmit to everyone. And instead, for 4 hours, he told me the story of one patient after another. One individual patient after another. There was no summary. There was no global sweeping statement. There was only the lives of his patients and how they had intertwined with his life to make his life so wonderful. And I remember thanking him and getting in my car and driving home and realizing that he had told me the secret. The whole secret is one patient after another. One patient after another who thinks you are their doctor, who trust you and maybe love you. And so I wish that for you, because I've had it all my life. I wish you one patient after another so that every day is a better day than the day before. And every day you're a smarter doctor because the patients teach you. And every day you'll remember that the people who we didn't thank today, who are not in this audience, are all the patients already who have let you learn on them. And so that's my wish for all of you. And now, with that, we need to move on to the ceremony. And thank you for the privilege of being your dean. No, I think we'll just stay together. Do you want me to go over? No. Okay. Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy please rise? President Rabinowitz, I have the honor now to present to you the students who have satisfied all the requirements for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the Donald and Barbara Zucker School of Medicine at Hofstra Northwell. And I am pleased to join with the faculty in recommending that you confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy upon these candidates.
Graduates, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the trustees of Hofstra University and the Regents of the state of New York, and upon the recommendation of Dean Smith and your fabulous faculty at the medical school, I'm delighted to confer upon each of you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Congratulations.
We ask that each of the graduates come to the stage to be introduced by Dr. Betty Diamond, Program Director of the PhD and MD PhD programs, hooded by their primary investigators, and to be recognized by President Rabinowitz and Mr. Dowling, and receive their diplomas.
Also be receiving the MD degree this year. Joshua Bloom and his mentor, Yusuf Alabed. Josh's thesis was entitled Structure-Function Relationships of Macrophage Inhibitory Factors, Implications for Drug Design. Renata Lerner, and her thesis was entitled Effects of Levodopa on Regional Cerebral Metabolism, Blood Flow, and blood-brain barrier permeability in the 6-hydroxydopamine rat model. Yun Liu and Nicholas Gerazi, and Yun's thesis was entitled Receptor Immunoglobulins of Chronic Lymphocytic Leukemia, Subset 4. Harold Silverman and Kevin Tracy. And Harold's dissertation was Sensory Vagus Nerve Stimulating and Inflammation. Stefano Vergani and Nicholas Gerazi again. And Stefano's dissertation is B-cell development in aged people and patients with chronic lymphocytic leukemia. And now, if all of the PhD recipients would rise, we'll recite the oath of the scientist together, and all other researchers here are invited to stand and recite it with us. The oath is on the second to last page of your program. So please stand and recite it with me. By accepting my Doctor of Philosophy degree, Harold, you reciting? I earnestly assert that I will apply my scientific skills and principles to benefit society. I will continue to practice and support a scientific process that is based on logic, intellectual rigor, personal integrity, and an uncompromising respect for truth. I will treat my colleagues' work with respect and objectivity and be a collaborator within the scientific community, sharing knowledge and resources resulting from my research. I will teach these scientific principles to my students. I will seek to increase public understanding of the principles of science and its humanitarian goals. These things I do promise.
Thank you, Betty. That's mine. Ah. Yes. What are you doing? No, give me that. Okay.
How many deans and presidents does it take to, never mind.
Before the presentation of our Doctor of Medicine candidates, today join us in pride as we welcome a 2017 alumna, Dr. Jocelyn Greenshire-Lee, as she leads Tyler Lapatin in his military oath of office, signifying his promotion to the U.S. Navy Medical Corps. After recitation of his oath, which you can find printed in the back of your program, Tyler's wife Laura and daughter Scarlett will uncover the new stripe on Tyler's sleeve, showing his new rank of lieutenant. Could Jocelyn, Tyler, Laura, and Scarlett please join us?
Repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter. So help me God.
Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Medicine please rise? President Rabinowitz, I have the honor now to present to you those students who have satisfied all the requirements for the degree Doctor of Medicine in the Donald and Barbara Zucker School of Medicine at Hofstra Northwell. And I am pleased to join with the faculty in recommending that you confer the degree Doctor of Medicine upon these candidates.
Graduates, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and by the Regents of the State of New York, and upon the recommendation of Dean Smith and the faculty of the School of Medicine, it is my honor to confer upon you the degrees Doctor of Medicine. Congratulations.
We ask that each of the graduates come to the stage to be introduced by Dr. Ellen Perlman, Associate Dean for the Advanced Clinical Experience, hooded by Dr. David Battinelli, Dean for Medical Education, and one of the few people tall enough to hood everyone, and recognized by Stuart Rabinowitz and Michael Dowling, and to receive their diplomas.
Dr. Paape Addison. Dr. Jamil Alexis, being hooded by his mother. He's being hooded by his mother, Yvonne Cruz. Dr. Camille Anderson. Dr. Danielle Aronowitz. Dr. Alexandra Balin. Dr. Shaddai Camila Beal. Dr. Ryan Betty. Dr. Michael Beer. Dr. Joshua Bloom running up here. Dr. Michelle Bravo. Dr. Tamara Casas. Dr. Jenny Chang. Dr. Christy Chen. Dr. Khan Chen. Dr. Sarah Brigandy Cooper. Dr. Rocio Amanda Gianno Crab. Dr. Matthew Cucino. Dr. Joseph Davidov. Dr. Jonathan D'Assis. Dr. Heather Edward. Dr. Jeremy Fama. Dr. Jennifer Furman. She's being hooded by her husband, Dr. Timothy Furman. Dr. Julian Gonzalez. Dr. Ria Goyal. Being hooded by her father, Dr. Amit Kumar Goyal. Other way. Dr. Nathan Ha. Dr. Elizabeth Hayes. Dr. Christopher Hennessy. Dr. Tony Ayerkota. Being hooded by her mother, Dr. Olivia Bayani Habakon. Dr. Mengzi Ji. Dr. Ishu Kant. Dr. Goshal Kambati. Dr. Timothy Kwong. Dr. Amit Kohli. He's being hooded by his father, Dr. Ratanjit Kohli. Dr. Caitlin Condra. Being hooded by her father, Dr. Lawrence Joseph Condra. Dr. Delia Crystal. Dr. Benson Koo. Dr. Mukesh Kumar. Dr. Katie Labate. Dr. Monica Lay. Dr. Diana Lech. Dr. Donald Lee. Dr. Samuel Lee. Dr. Renata Lerner. Dr. Julia Levy. Dr. Jenny Yuan Lim. Dr. Andrew Liu. Dr. Tyler Lapatin. Being hooded by his mother, Dr. Vicky Lapatin. Dr. Eric Lutweiler. Dr. Daniel Markowitz. Being hooded by both of his parents, Dr. Avraham and Dr. Adeline Markowitz. Dr. Mark Messina. Dr. Robin Miller. Being hooded by both of her parents, Drs. Mark and Cindy Miller. Dr. Clancy Mullen. Dr. Lori Miller. Sorry, Murray. Dr. Lori Murray, that is. Dr. Amanda Myers. Dr. Geeta Anjali Narayan. Being hooded by both of her parents, Dr. Raj and Tina Narayan. Dr. Joshua Newman. Being hooded by his father, Dr. Sheldon Newman. Oh, you guys are gonna make me clap. Dr. Tam Wynn. Dr. David Neves. Dr. Miles Nightingale. Dr. Hugo Ortega. Dr. Jasmine Atkins. Dr. Juhei Christine Park. Dr. Sophie Parks. Dr. Stephen Pastori. Dr. Suraj Patel. Dr. Justin Pereira. Dr. Jonathan Preminger. Dr. Allison Ricardo. Dr. Jeremy Roberts. Dr. Alyssa Rothman. Dr. Gabriella Ruccelli. Being hooded by her parents, Dr. Ida Trilnick and Dr. Eduardo Ruccelli. Dr. Angad Sandhu. Dr. Zohair Sakib. Dr. Kimberly Seoani. Dr. Olivia Saragano. Dr. Michael Sider. Dr. Carlin Stoltman. Dr. Christopher Strauss. Dr. Benjamin Stewart. Being hooded by his parents, Drs. Kevin and Pamela Stewart. Nicely done. Dr. Luke Swazek. Dr. Timothy Tong. Dr. Michael Wysota. Dr. Megan Yu. Dr. Emily Zucker. Princess. And last but not least, Dr. Haley Zilberberg.
Okay, one more round of applause for everyone. So now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I have to inform Dr. Perlman she's never reading the names again. She's going to man the new official hugging post. We'll have names, hugging, and then we'll move on. Okay, can I ask the students and any physicians in the audience and on the podium to please rise so that we can read the modern Hippocratic Oath, the same oath you took at the white coat ceremony. And I'd like volume from the class. Okay, we're going to say this together. I swear to fulfill to the best of my ability this covenant. I will respect the hard-won scientific gains of those physicians in whose steps I walk, and gladly share such knowledge as is mine with those who are to follow. I will apply for the benefit of the sick all measures that are required according to those twin traps of overtreatment and therapeutic nihilism. I will remember that there is art to medicine as well as science, and that warmth, sympathy, and understanding may outweigh the surgeon's knife or the chemist's drug. I will not be ashamed to say I know not, nor will I fail to call in my colleagues when the skills of another are needed for a patient's recovery. I will respect the privacy of my patients, for their problems are not disclosed to me that our world may know. Most especially must I tread with care in matters of life and death, and never abuse the power that has been bestowed upon me. I will remember that I do not treat a fever chart, a cancerous growth, but a sick human being, whose illness may affect not only the person, but a family and community. I will prevent disease whenever I can, for prevention is preferable to cure. I will remember that I remain a member of society with special obligations to all my fellow human beings, those sound of mind and body, as well as the infirm. I will maintain the health of my body and spirit, so I am able to discharge my duties appropriately. If I do not violate this oath, may I enjoy life and art, respected while I live, and remembered with affection thereafter. May I always act so as to preserve the finest traditions of my calling, and may I long experience the joy of healing those who seek my help. Could I ask the class to turn around and thank everyone who got you here with a round of applause. Okay, can everyone be seated? And please, for the audience, remain in your seats while we process out the platform party, students and faculty, and then join us at the School of Medicine for a reception in celebration of this graduation. Thank you.